it's Betsy, and today we have a fun video. We're going to be testing out a new to me brand, and that is CXC Beauty. Now, CXC Beauty is a queer-owned beauty brand owned by Christian Call, who was a professional makeup artist. I discovered this brand because Stephen Ford, who's on YouTube, he's one of my best friends, was sharing it in our Makeup Magpies group about their bronzers. They came out with, out the gate, 25 shades of bronzer, and they only retailed for $18 each. So I was like, you know, a new indie brand, let's test them out. So I ordered one for me and one for Nadia. So this is the Refined Radiance bronzer. I got the shade Into. Now, this does have a 12-month shelf life. They are located in Florida. And this is what she looks like. I did swatch her, but I haven't swatched her on camera yet. So that's what she looks like. So as you can see, for shade 2, and as I said, there's 25 shades in different families, so that's what Into looks like. It is nice and soft. It does feel like it is super duper blendable. So we'll see what it looks like once I put it on my skin, but I am excited. And then, because I was buying from them, I was like, well, let's see what else is going on. They had this eyeshadow palette. They have other makeup besides it. This is the Palomino Paradise palette, and it has a 12-month shelf life. It's cruelty-free and made out of recyclable material. And it typically retails for $39.99, but they had it on sale on their website for $25. So I actually bought, I think it was like the 2 bronzers and the palette, and I had a discount code. I think it was like 51 bucks for everything. So it wasn't expensive at all. And like, this palette just screams beach to me. So I was like, we're going to play with some beachy colors. So we're gonna start off by swatching. So let's wipe away the swatch of the bronzer. I am super excited for this, y'all. Okay, so the first shade we have up is a Palomino, which is like a matte white, like not white, but like a cream shade. I know that's popular with a lot of beauty gurus. I could care less if it's in there. Then we have the shade Sun Kissed. Ooh, that's pretty. That's a shimmer. That's really pretty. So there's 3 shimmers and 5 mattes. Then we have the shade Cocoa. Fior. See, in like the pan, Fior looks more of like a rusted red. When you swatch it out, it definitely, to me, pulls more orange. So I'm excited to play with that. Okay, now let's go to the second row. So we have the shade Sunset. That's beautiful. Caribbean, or Caribbean, oh. That's beautiful. Then we have the shade Paradise. Oh, that's stunning. And last but not least is the shade Iguana. I like that color too. So that is the full 8-pan palette. This color story interested me because, you know, sometimes I want colors, sometimes I want neutral, and this is a good mix of both. So let's get to playing. Okay, e.l.f. eye tapes. Let's use those. But yeah, you know, I'm always about trying out a new indie brand. I ordered this on May the 28th. Didn't take long to get to me, considering some of the things I've had to deal with in the past. So we're gonna start off by going into the first shade right here, which is Palomino. So no issues with that. Now there is some kick up in the pan when I went to swirl. You can kind of see on camera that there is some kick up in the pan, but nothing major. And we're gonna use that to set down the eye primer. Now I did use the NARS Smudge Proof, Budge Proof, and Light. But yeah, so I'm excited to test this. I love testing new indie brands. I love supporting indie brands as much as I possibly can. And when I see something new like this, especially coming right out the gate with that kind of shade range for bronzers, I think is super important because, you know, There's so many shades that are lacking, and they have a lot of different undertones as well. Like I bought from the neutral, they had like a neutral olive, a warm, I think a red undertone, but there were a lot. And as I said, they have a lot of different products on their website. These were just what I started with, and then if I love it, then we can kind of go from there. So that's what that shade looks like. So now I'm gonna take, this is a Zoeva 227, and I'm gonna go into that orangey shade, and we're gonna apply it to the outer portion of the eye. I like that color. I think it's super pretty. And I'm not gonna bring it in too far. I want to maintain it towards the outer part of the eye. But yeah. And I love seeing diversity in the community. You know, I love seeing new brands all together. And from what I was reading on their website, they started in 2019. One thing I will tell you that was super nice is I got a personal email from the owner. And so did my friend Steven, because he ordered as well. And I was like, that is such a cool touch to it to make sure. I'm gonna go in, this is a B11 from Spectrum, and I'm using that with the same shade because I want to make it a little bit darker, but I want to keep it like real close to the crease. So getting a smaller blendy brush definitely helps do that. So I'm not seeing like any weird patchiness with the colors. I think that they blend so far really well. So we like that. We like that a whole lot. So now I'm gonna go in with the Refer number 14, and we're gonna go in with the shade Cocoa. And we're gonna use that to deepen up the outer crease. So as you can see, I'm just kind of tucking and pulling. Pretty easy to do. Okay, so I like how that looks. What do you think? I like that color range. I think it looks super pretty. Okay, just going in with the bigger brushes that I used and just making sure everything is nice and blended. So what do I want to do on the lids? That's the question of the day, isn't it? You know, that's like the question. I'm like, especially when I have pretty shimmers, it's like, ooh, what can I use today? There's always so many choices. So this is a Cleona brush. They don't have any numbers or names on them, so just to let you know. Okay, I'm gonna use that on my eyeballs. This is the Too Faced Glitter Glue. If you watch me a bunch, you will know I use glitter glue with all my shimmers. Now Too Faced, this is just the one that I'm almost finished with, so I'm like trying to finish off the entire thing, but like it doesn't have to be Too Faced. The NYX one's good. I have so many of them. So we're gonna go in first into the shade Caribbean, that beautiful aqua blue, and we're gonna apply that on the back half of the eyelid. And as you can see, like when I'm applying this, I do not have smooth baby eyelids anymore. I'm almost 40, so they're not smooth like they once were. But they still can handle the makeup and they look pretty. But just so you know, they move. It's like that skin is no longer tight like it once was. And not that I'm scared of getting any type of plastic surgery. It's just I don't think I'm needing that yet. And I don't know if that would be something that I could actually go through with. So I'm just kind of making sure it's all even. Now I wiped off the brush and we're going to go into the shade Paradise, which is that lighter aqua shade. and we're gonna tap that on to the front half of the lid. That looks really pretty together. I love orange and blue together. It's actually one of my favorite color combinations, even though I don't wear it very often. Like orange and navy blue is so freaking pretty, it's not even funny. See how well those are going on though? So far, the eyeshadows are performing well, which is what we want. We want those to, you know. I always want my makeup to perform well. If it actually does, that's a different story. So now I'm gonna go back into the Caribbean shade and kind of just tap over to make sure they're blended together well. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, I'm gonna take my Refer 14 in the shade Cocoa again, and we're gonna kind of go over just the edge. Okay, now I'm gonna take the brush that had the shade Palomino on it up front, go over the edge, make sure everything's clean. There we go. So this is the top of the eyes done. I'm gonna go off camera, do the rest of my face. We'll come back, do bronzer and the lower lash line and talk about my thoughts on CXC Beauty. So I'm back and I have the rest of my face on. I used the Crystal Trinket Gloss by Sugar Pill for my lips, and then I just have the Makeup by Mario black pencil in my waterline. I was gonna put on lashes, but they did not want to cooperate today, so guess what? We're not wearing lashes. You know, some days they don't want to go on properly, and I'm just like, no, done with it. So I'm gonna take, this is a, what is this? Oh, this is just a Cleona brush. It doesn't have a thing. So I'm gonna go into the shade Sunset, which is that metallic orange, and I'm gonna apply that under the lower lash line because I want to use as many shades as possible, and I do like that color. That looks pretty. Now I don't have on blush, bronzer, highlight yet because it's like, well, I always apply a bronzer first, and I want to make sure that I'm being, you know, as fair as I possibly can be. So that means applying bronzer first. So let's apply some mascara. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Push-Up Lashes. I took the Chantecaille one that I was using out of rotation. It was just too dry at this point for my liking. So, okay. That's kind of how it looks. So it's not bad, but yeah, let's blend that out. Okay, so that is the eyes done. So let's apply the bronzer. So I did grab out my medium dark. This is the one from Mario. So I mean, you can see the packaging is pretty similar as far as size goes, but I wanted to show you the difference in the colors between the Mario. So this is medium dark, so I think this is like shade 4 in Mario, and then this is neutral 2 from CXC Beauty. So you can kind of see that it looks like the neutral 2 is a little bit darker than the Mario. So that makes me happy because I'm like, you know, the Mario looks good, but it is a little, I mean, it's not pale on me. That's the medium deep. It's just, sometimes it's not deep enough. So we're gonna take, this is the Real Techniques 003 brush, which is like, ooh, my favorite bronzer brush. And we're going to apply. That went on beautifully. Do you see that? Okay. That's going on well. I like that. What do you think? What do you think? I think it looks good. Okay. And it is buildable. So that's always important too, because you know, sometimes you need a little bit more color. Okay. So I think that looks super duper pretty on the skin. And I would definitely say it compares with the Makeup by Mario one, like as far as how it looks on. I mean, it's just a pretty matte bronzer. But for $18, that's a good price. So now I'm gonna take, this is just the Spectrum 805. We're gonna go into the Wild Berry Blush, because I had this one out. So that's what we're gonna use for a blush today. That's pretty. I still love this blush. I think that it's such a unique, well, maybe it's not unique, but I do love his formula and the way, like, this blends out. Like, it really does blend like a dream. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna take, this is my powder brush. This is the A00. And just kind of go over where I applied the blush and bronzer, just to make sure it's all blended out. Now for highlight, I figured we would try to use the shade Sunkissed as the highlight from this palette. So this is a Spectrum A33. Ooh, okay, that works. That works as a beautiful highlight. We're gonna have to tone it down some, because I mean, that applied a lot. But that's okay. Again, we can tone that down. Okay, I like how that looks. So far, so good. Okay, so I'm gonna take, again, my powder brush. Gonna go over it to, see how that tones it down? It doesn't get rid of it. It just kind of blends everything all together. Tones it down just a hair. There we go. Okay. Now, last but not least, let's take that same color, the Sunkissed shade, and I'm gonna apply that in my inner corner. I probably could have used Iguana, but I think that I like this the best. That works beautifully as an inner corner highlight. What am I saying? This thing, it works beautifully too as a highlight. Okay, so this is my face done. What do you think? Okay, so let's talk about this. For 25 bucks, this palette to me is definitely worth it. I think it looks beautiful. I love the way that it blended out. I think the eyes look phenomenal. So $25 and then $18 for the bronzer. Again, I think it looks really good on the skin. What do you think? Very nice and natural looking, but it still gives me the warmth that, you know, I want from a bronzer. So I am super happy I tried this brand, and I can't wait to see what else they come out with. So let me know down below if you've tried CXC Beauty. If you have, tell me your favorite product. But I guess that's it. We'll see y'all later. Bye.